All right, welcome to the Nitty Gritty, episode 131. We're back with two amazing ladies, sister-in-laws, we just found out.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Oh, I hope there's some drama and fighting and stuff. So we have Jodi Horton and Ashlee Hinds, co-founders of the women's epic race that they're going to let me race in the summer. I'm just waiting for one women's retreat or women's something that lets me in.
Yeah.
Nobody's let me in yet.
We should get invited to something.
I agree. I got in a little argument last week with this friend of mine, and I was just like, women have been fighting for equality for years, but now they're just doing to us what we did to them. She just started laughing. I was like, equality my ass. Like, it's payback. I think we were talking about...
Valid point.
I think we were talking about Augusta National, how they just let like women members in 10 years ago or whatever, and she was getting all mad. I'm like, yeah, but you'll just start your own country club and you won't let men in. You'll just do it right back. And anyway, it was pretty funny. But welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming all the way down from Ogden.
Yes.
That's quite a drive.
Snowy
Super
day.
happy to be here.
Of course, in
a little
April it's
chilly.
going to be snowy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate this weather.
Frigid.
Utah's tough in the spring, that's for sure.
That's good. We're very excited to be here. Thank you for having us down.
Of course. So are you guys originally from up north, right? Both of you kind of grew up there?
Yes. So I first came. Well, we moved up here from Arizona when
Okay.
I was like 7, and my parents immediately thought everybody in Utah knew how to ski. So we were like thrown in ski lessons day one, and then we've hiked the Wasatch Front and skied and all the fun outdoor things from the beginning. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, everyone in Utah does know how to ski, right?
right, it's
It's like everyone in California knows how to surf. Yeah. Everyone in Texas knows everything about everything. And everyone in New York's a jerk. So some of the stereotypes are true.
That's true.
But that's cool.
It worked out in my favor. Yeah.
You're probably grateful they did that, right?
Right. I am. And then it's kind of paved the way, I feel like, for women's epic and just a natural transition into trail running and hiking and that.
So siblings, like everyone enjoys the outdoors and spends a lot of time outside?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And right now it's focuses on a lot of mountain biking, the fishing, the hunting, but yeah, everything that Utah has to offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, someone takes advantage of it. Unlike me, it just
That's how it
gets
goes.
mad.
Yeah, you drive through like one of the national parks and you see a bunch of Germans and you're just like, what are you guys doing here? Like, oh, the national parks, they're beautiful. And I'm like, oh yeah, we live like 2 hours from here.
But I went
Travel the world to come see them.
No joke.
Couple.
Went to Arches for the first time ever this last summer. First time of my life.
They're too crowded.
They are too crowded.
Agree.
But
I agree.
we played like the license plate game. I was there with the young men.
Right.
We found every single license plate.
Oh yeah. That doesn't
Even Hawaii and Alaska.
They had their cars shipped over
Yes.
for the
I
trip.
don't understand, but I was like, oh, you guys do care about this place a lot. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and it was really cool. I was like, oh,
It's crazy.
imagine that being so close.
When I travel, I always see Utah like Big Five commercials, and it pisses me off. It's like we're ruining our own state. All these filthy foreigners coming over here, and I'm just kidding.
It's like when the Olympics came here, I didn't even go to them.
No?
Yeah, I was right in the
I
middle
didn't even
of
go to
that.
Salt Lake.
That was pretty
I was
awesome.
like, oh, there's too many people up there. I'm not going to do that.
I worked on Park City Main Street. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. But I get it. I'm the same way with Sundance. Like all that big Utah stuff, it is kind of like you just want to stay away.
The crowds. Yep.
Yeah, you're not missing anything there.
Makes you wonder when you travel to different states, like you do the touristy things, and you're like, what do people actually do here? Because they don't
It's
go
true.
to Arches.
Nothing that you're doing, probably. They probably stay away from all of it, right? I mean, and I get it. Like you go, it's like skiing now. I mean, skiing has gotten out of control. We don't have any like local resorts left.
Yeah.
They're all, I just read that Sundance is putting in another big high speed, like 6-seater. I'm like, well, there goes the last one. It's over.
I ski Tuesday through Thursday, and I don't do the weekend. I check my kids out of school, and we'll just hit during the week because the crowds.
You have to.
I'm like the mama bear skiing behind them. Like anybody hits my kid.
You have to,
yeah,
right?
you have to if you want to
There are a
enjoy
bunch
it
of
and
idiots up there.
do your turns.
Where do you go?
Snow Basin.
Okay. See, in Snow Basin's, that one's that's still like compared to Park City.
Words out.
But you're right. I mean, it is getting worse. But I don't know that I would call any of them like local only anymore. right? Even Powder Mountain is
No way.
kind of gone.
Powder's nice in the sense that they still limit their tickets.
Right.
But, I mean, it's all headed
that's
downhill,
awesome.
right?
It is. And I mean, I can't believe the cost of lift tickets now. It's out of control. I mean, it's more expensive than Disneyland.
And that's getting crazy.
And that's getting crazy too, but at least it's freaking Disneyland. Like, not a bunch of leased snow hills. Like, I mean, the amount of money Disneyland's spending to put on their show is a little bit higher than Park City Mountain Resort.
My $30 hamburger and
it's unreal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's unfortunate.
I'll stop complaining.
No, I feel the pain.
Anyway,
So Ashlee, what about you?
Yeah, so born and raised in Davis County.
Okay.
And never left. Did go to the Dominican Republic for like 4 months to teach English, but that's as far as
cool.
I ventured. Thank you.
yeah. Why'd you come back?
I know, it was so amazing.
What part did you go to?
Around Punta Cana.
Okay.
I don't know if I had the right accent.
Great.
It was perfect.
But yeah, it was cool. It was a cool little local village and did that. I went to UVU actually for a year, so I've lived the Provo life.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, when I was coming back, I was feeling all the feelings. I was like nostalgic, but also
driving back down
painful.
That's funny. Like, it is such a bubble here. Like, you forget that. I mean, you're just in Ogden, but it's like, why the freak would you drive to? I mean, it's like Ogden for me. Like, why would I drive to? It's not like I just go up to Ogden very often. But yeah, I would imagine that you get the feels coming back here because it is kind of like a different state.
It is.
I mean, that's a 2 hour, well, not a 2 hour drive, about an hour drive, right?
Yeah, about an hour.
It's like the worst hour though, because you're going through like the metropolis, the most populated part of the state.
Yeah, so many billboards.
Yeah.
I'm sold on everything.
Speaking of billboards, I saw a Mixer's billboard today. It's the first one I've seen.
We did.
Shout out to Jess.
There's a handful of them.
Yeah, we saw 3
Dang.
coming down.
I'm glad we got her in here before she outgrew us.
We can always claim that we were the first podcast.
That's a big
You're the
deal.
first person to have her on.
Right.
So we're going to heaven. If you're friends with Jess, you're going to heaven. And I play pickleball with her mother-in-law, so it's like
Oh, you're set.
I'm double set, even though I don't know if she'll go to heaven. She cusses like me. I'm just kidding. She doesn't. She doesn't cuss.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. She was our one of our first sponsors in 2021 that saw the vision and saw it clear and was like, I'm on board. What do you need from me? So we love Jess here
That's awesome.
Women's Epic. She's a sweet one. She's a good one.
So it sounds like you both kind of grew up doing the outdoor stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So what made you become crazy people and do all the outdoor running, crazy stuff?
So as far as the origin of Women's Epic, I had just sold my other business that I had back in, was it 2018? And I was in that like morning
What was it?
phase. It was a blanket brand. I got
Lane and
picked
May.
up. It was Lane and May.
gosh,
You do. Oh.
It's no big deal. I was studying
You're
for
so
hours.
prepared.
Wait, like 20 minutes before. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I sold that and then was kind of in that morning phase. Missing my jam there for like 6 months.
How long had you been running that for?
Just a year.
Okay.
It grew quick. I got picked up by a big brand. And then immediately it was kind of like, hey, this is a little over my head. I'm going to need a whole staff if I'm going to do this. And then started getting offers, and one of them felt right, and the rest is history there.
Can we get a little background on that? Like, where'd the idea come from? How'd you start?
The idea for that came, so I had my daughter and went into that funk after I had her for a little bit, and then found out I was pregnant with my son when she was a year old, and I was aware enough.
That son of a bitch. Husband.
It worked out fine because it took me a hot minute to get pregnant with my first. So, but I was aware enough to know that I didn't want to get in that funk, so I felt like I needed something else that was mine, essentially.
Are you talking like postpartum?
Yes. Yeah, postpartum. So I had always, wanted to do have my own business, do my own thing. Even growing up, it was like lemonade stand after lemonade stand.
I've always been a hustler then.
In that sense.
Okay.
And so I just started doing research. Went to my husband and said, okay, I think this is what, after research and strategy and all the things these blankets seem to be very on trend. I'm going to find the best wool I can find. I'm going to outsource, find these ladies that can make it exactly how I want it made, and then it expanded and grew from there. I worked with some influencers that were massive, and they were willing to show Lane May for what it was there, and then just grew quickly, caught the attention of Nordstrom, and then
it's over.
It's
all over.
It was over.
Once you get
from there.
Nordstrom, that's the holy grail.
She said that super casual.
She did say
caught
that.
The attention
I
of
feel like we're skipping
Nordstrom.
a whole lot of stuff right now. Okay, so where did the idea for the blankets come from? Like, was this like something that you wish you had? Because girls are always cold. Like, did you want a certain type of blanket? Was it?
It was
I read that it was merino.
wool. Yes.
Merino wool, which you're a skier.
I'm a skier, yes.
I feel like merino wool's a big, like,
the moisture wicking and everything
keeps
from
you
that.
warm, keeps you cool.
I think the thought process behind that was, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. I want to be the best blanket brand out there that's doing merino wool blankets.
Right.
So I think it just more came from the business side of things too. Like I think this could be successful if I do it the way I want to do it.
Interesting.
So was it more like
No, like pure love of blankets or anything like that?
No. It's sad.
It's not sad.
Maybe I should admit that it is.
No, see, it's good to have everything.
Idea.
It doesn't always have to be this like great, like passion, whatever. Like you had a great idea and you went after it. I mean,
my head is more
there's
business.
1,000 ways to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
And so blanket, and I think that's pretty clever. Did you make them very big though?
They were
like massive. I want to know if they would have fit me.
They would have.
All right, then you're allowed to stay. You're allowed to stay. She just called me massive.
No.
No,
I did.
They were massive.
They were
king size.
They fit you?
It would fit on your king size bed, is what I meant. King size bed.
We call them the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Just kidding.
No, they were beautiful, and I had a good time with it.
That's amazing.
For sure. And then
so
it was
what made
time
you
to
want
move
sell?
on.
Like what?
Little ones at home, I think. But in the sense that, I mean, I was a one-woman show.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hire a team. That wasn't like, it was more the creation process and getting it to where I wanted to be, and then letting someone take it to the next
And that's
step.
also something that I don't think we talk about enough. A lot of people get to that point and they start scaling and growing, but that's not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think it's okay to not want that, to not want to have,
be aware of
a big organization or worry about all that stuff and such. And there's also a time in a season, because now maybe later you're going to want to grow something bigger, right? But I think that's so interesting to be able to, one, recognize that, and then two, actually follow through with it and not feel, oh, if I sell now, like the pain and regret of what could have been, but just appreciate it for what it is.
Right.
So
Have you had any of that pain and regret?
Like I said, I feel like I went through
Like
that
some FOMO?
mourning phase. But it was more because my name was on it. Lane and May.
Right.
Lane is my daughter.
Now.
Yep. And May is my middle name. So I felt like it was more like the name giving up. But other than that, I was ready. I was like, this is a great decision.
Very cool.
Let's move this along. And then
It's pretty quick turnaround.
it grew quick, and I was very fortunate.
Interesting. What year was this?
This was 2018, 2019.
Were we still in like the cool algorithm back then?
Things were good. Yeah.
Like where you just like, if it was good, you just went to the top? Or was that was after, I think, wasn't it? Like back when the algorithm was just like chronological. We've had a bunch of guests talk about like how fast they grew because they beat the new algorithms. But I wonder if that's had anything to do with it. But
my
you just had
marketing
influencers?
strategy was influencers.
Yeah.
And it was pure trade. I never.
Right.
Yeah. It was. They loved the brand, the blankets, and they'd put me on a post, and million followers plus were working with me, and
Holy
that's
crap.
purely
You had
what
a
my
million
marketing
followers?
No, they did.
Oh my gosh. I was like,
No. They had influencers were, finding my little brand.
Right.
And they were willing to
How are they
post
finding
about
you?
it. I'd send an email and say,
you're not supposed to put it in your, you're not supposed to put it in your mouth.
So loud.
This whole thing's gonna be my laugh, like so loud.
You're
It's all right. We like that. Everyone needs to hear some laughter.
What was it? How would they find me?
Yeah.
I would email them typically with my pitch. Yeah.
Like a cold call.
Yeah.
Joe is a wizard. Like
My
even
pitch.
with Women's Epic, she can tell you kind of how we've got some of our sponsors. I don't know what it is, but she just comes up with. She can just get to them.
I don't
Tell
know.
us your secrets. I need to know these secrets.
Yeah, can we call you Joe?
You can call me Joe.
I always
If she
forget.
gets to, I feel like we should get to. I'm kidding.
No, you're good. I think it just comes back to the product. I feel at the end of the day, you have something they want and they're willing to. I think the strength is just making it presentable and make it pretty, beautiful. I feel like that's kind of my strength with Lane and May and Women's Epic. I'm able to like present them in a way that people find appealing, and
Yes, like
But there's so many brands that would do anything to work with like influencers, especially large ones. And you're like, oh yeah, I had some, and yeah, they liked it. And then Nordstrom, and
I know what Modern Dad would do to be called by Nordstrom. I don't know that there'd be a limit. It's a big
my
deal.
mind is spinning now. No.
Yes, it is.
no, she really does. Like when I'll tell this story really quick. When we first started Women's Epic, we were trying to come up with a name. I was coming up with the ugliest names.
Like what?
I was like, we should name it like.
Just say it.
I want to hear the worst.
Maybe
three.
like Wild and She.
Oh.
Joe was like, no. I was like, Athena.
Wild's usually
like,
bad.
Yeah.
Like ever
Like, what
since
is what does that even mean?
Wild Athena.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just couldn't come up with something.
Isn't that like a Greek goddess? What's Athena?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was thinking Nike.
Yeah.
How they came from like the Greek gods. I was like, maybe if we do the Nike thing.
Right.
But thank goodness we have her, and she
Feels like you and I
she
share
came up
the
with
ability to
Women's
name
Epic.
companies about the same talent level.
Okay, good.
When I come up with names, it is the worst thing.
Zeus XXL barbecue.
It's so bad. But I do
That's a
the
good
same
one.
thing. I'm always like,
I think we all do.
Greek gods that mean this.
Yeah.
That's legit what I googled. Greek gods that empower women.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Come a
Yep.
long way.
That's funny. Okay, so we have a really cool business that we should talk more about, but we're going to get into Women's Epic. So you sell it. Ashlee, have you married into the family yet? No, you married into the family.
She married my little brother.
You married.
baby
Okay, that's
brother.
right.
Yes. So honestly, Jodi, I was most intimidated by her. He has 4 siblings, and I just thought she was amazing. She had her blanket brand. Just
You were intimidated
So-
by Jodi? She's so nice.
no. She does
But I'm
have like
protective
a
over my
sister.
brothers.
Are you the only sister?
I have an older sister.
Okay.
Cody, yeah, and then me, but I'm very kind.
So she was always so nice. I
The
don't know. I was
sisters can
so
for sure be
intimidated.
scarier than the parents.
Yeah, I just wanted her to like me so much.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Bachelor. You know, they go home,
yeah,
meet
like
the
that.
evil sister. Like, you better be nice to my little brother, bitch. I'll end you.
It was
She
not like
never
that.
And it was the baby brother, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the spoiled one.
Right, he is.
The most loved.
He is
spoiled one.
spoiled.
By all. But we it was like Sunday dinner, I want to say, and we were talking about plans for the summer and what races Ash was going to be doing.
So hold on. So how long had you married? How long had you been married at this point?
For about 2 years.
Okay.
So
And
yeah.
you were an active racer, it sounds like, because you were just talking about like what races you were doing.
Yeah, I was like the perfect example of what we try to attract at Women's Epic. Just like someone who's not like the fastest, I graduated high school, I did like cheer and stuff, and as soon as I graduated, I signed up for like a half marathon and just wanted something competitive and to train for. So
And
Like
love
a
half
13-mile
marathons.
race, you mean?
yes.
Really? I don't remember last time I ordered a half hamburger.
I can remember last time I ordered a half a pound of brisket.
That's different. Half of a pound is an actual measurement. I swear. I just always give them crap for the whole half marathon thing. I'm like, you either run a marathon or you don't. It should have its own name.
Honestly, true, because you get the T-shirt and
such
the
a good-
medal.
See, everyone agrees with me. Everyone.
Such a good point.
You
Like,
kind of
don't
feel
take
like
it
a
away from
phony.
marathon. It's like plant-based chicken. You shouldn't be able to call it chicken. Chicken is an animal,
I agree.
and their meat is there meat? Like it should just be plant-based white protein, whatever they want to frickin' call it. Which I had to eat an Impossible Burger on the plane to Georgia, by the way. That was their like warm option for dinner.
Gross.
Yeah.
I'm so spoiled.
It's either like a
I'm in first
chill-
class and I can only get a plant-based burger.
My seat was supposed to lay all the way down. It didn't. So I got a few thousand miles for that. But anyways, sorry.
So awesome.
Tangent.
How long is that flight?
It's like 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. To the worst airport
sit
on
up.
God's green freaking earth. Atlanta.
Plant-based
Oh,
burger.
it's the worst airport. Anyway. So yeah, sorry.
She ran a half marathon.
So you ran a
Yeah, so I'm a fake.
13.1 mile race.
I'm a fake.
No, you're not a fake. It's amazing.
I'm
You know, it's just,
kidding.
I'm sure you can run a marathon, but
No, but yeah, so that's
everyone's like, shut up, fat boy. You've never run a mile in your life. All right. Back to you. I started a company called Fatagonia. Like you're wearing.
oh, we need those stickers.
I want to. So I want to make big and tall of all Patagonia things.
Please do.
Big
Yes.
people. I just call it Fatagonia. Anyway,
That's amazing.
I'm on one.
I'm so.
I had the idea years ago. My wife made me these for Father's Day one year. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do it. I wish that if they wouldn't sue me.
That's the only kicker there.
Anyway, okay, so you're doing races. You did your
Yes.
half marathon.
Loving
I'll get
it.
off my soapbox with that.
But yeah,
Well, how'd you start doing those? Like, what made you want to start doing those races?
my dad is a big runner. Like
Okay.
he's an actual real run. Like he does the marathons.
Why do you keep calling yourself not a real runner?
No, I'm totally kidding. We think everyone who has a body is a runner. So
Well, I could not disagree more. But I appreciate you. You know, that's inclusive. So
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, so that's kind of where the racing started. And then I started coaching at Orange Theory Fitness as a personal
Cool.
trainer. And I just loved like the energy of people being together, working towards a goal. Helped lots of people kind of get geared up for their first half marathon or whatever they were wanting to train for. And really like the best part of Women's Epic for me is when the women cross the finish line, whether it's like their first race or they've just gone through something difficult in their life and they cross the finish line, it's so amazing. Like everyone, it's just such a connecting and energizing experience. And so that's what racing had done for me. And so when we were talking about it, and I remember this moment to a T, but Joe like grabbed my shoulder and she was like, oh my gosh, we have to create a race. And I was like, we have to. I've never ran a business, but you have. So, and I've done races, so we'll be able to pull this
cool.
off. And my family grew up. My stepdad owned the Bear Gutsman, which is like a trail race up in northern Utah. So
Sounds easy.
Brutal.
The Bear
Brutal.
Gutsman.
yeah,
It's
Holy crap! That sounds like you would die.
Yeah.
yeah, it still goes on today.
Do they let women in?
Women are invited.
Okay, they
yeah.
better. 'Cause we don't want to be like women. We want them to feel
We
included.
want everyone to feel invited.
Right. You know.
I feel like
We're
I
all
need to
about
point
equality.
out we love men. Like from the head to the toe, we love.
We couldn't do it without them.
I was looking on your website. It
We
seems
love
like all
men.
the men are working at the
that
race.
They are. Yeah, this is true.
So you guys are doing it right. I like it.
Someone's got to do the men's epic. We keep waiting for it,
Listen.
but it will not get the good PR that we get. So
No,
Probably right.
it won't work.
I agree with you. So it sounds like you two are kind of two peas in a pod as far as like hobbies and just liking the mountains, liking the outdoors. So how long did it take for you to like her when she came into the family? Was it pretty quick?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a fan from day one.
How cool.
I was.
So you got the big sister
and we're
blessing.
so different as like how we think. So I think that's why we work well together too.
Both bring something different to
Yeah.
the table.
Yep. And
I
we
would
not
have for sure been late today.
Yeah,
Joe got me here early.
she
You're
wouldn't
the
have
late one. That's how we are.
you wouldn't have been here. She had her days mixed up and I talked to her yesterday and
That's definitely how we are.
was like,
I shot Cam a text last night like, hey,
He's
just a
learned.
reminder, we have a podcast in the morning.
I don't know what that word was though. It said tomorrow, and it was like rookie years.
Oh yeah, the
It
auto.
was so It was the weirdest autocorrect word, but yeah, he's learned. So, but that's good. We all bring something different to the mix, right?
Yeah, it
That's
works.
We
Sounds
can't all
good.
be punctual.
It's true.
No.
And you had an experienced racer, so she brought something to the table. Experienced business person brought something to the table.
So when did the idea of like trail running come? Because that is so different than like marathons and half marathons, right? Like when you're running just on the street to a trail is so different. So how did that, like when did that transition happen? I stepdad, it sounds like ran a company, a race. How do you say that?
Ran a race, ran a company.
But it sounds like he's
Put on a
Put on.
I know
Put
what
on
you're
a
saying.
race.
Owned,
How do you say
hosted.
that?
killed 13 people.
We're at the so we at that point we had come up with our like aha moment was, okay, let's do a race. And then for
Have
me,
either of you done like a trail race like that before, like a Spartan or a Tough Mudder or anything like that?
I'd done Spartans, which
Okay.
I loved. And I love trail running so much more than road running. And then
for me, I had done like the smaller things, but it was the mountains that I mean, every weekend that's
For sure.
where we're at. And so it just felt natural to do a trail race, and it hadn't been done here in Utah, a women's trail race.
Yep.
And so Women's Epic just kind of evolved into that essentially. And then right off the bat, we had like a few, I feel like, what's the right word, memorable transitional moments that we were like, okay, we're onto something. This is going to be, could be big, could be something that women want to be a part of. And
So how
then-
did you transition from the Greek goddess Athena trail racing to Women's Epic?
in a kind way, I think I was just like, no.
I just picture like a marathon for like a bunch of hot chicks. When you say like the Greek goddess Athena race, I'm like,
And like their fancy
totally.
Makeup
It's
done.
like we're not even allowed
Gold
to go
glitter
to
on the
Rachel's
eyes.
Hot Press.
no, and that's what there's lots of, I guess, not lots, but there are women's races around the country, which we admire, but a lot of them are very like, I guess, like sparkly and pink, and we
To wear
wanted
costumes to them.
yeah, and we wanted to create something where you feel like rad when you're
Badass.
yeah.
Well, I wonder where you got that. So I'm on a website right now.
Let's count how many times we say badass
And,
on the website.
Yeah, there is that, but consider this. This is the Bear Gutsman. Snakes, no water, a king hell curmudgeon for a race director. Heat and a view that has no parallel after you make it past the truly infamous death row. Like, this website is basically telling you not to run the Bear Gutsman. And it's the website it's called Crazy Bob's Bear Gutsman. It's the oldest trail race in Utah. So you come from some pretty, like, kind of cool, right? Like, that's the family heritage.
Yeah, some roots.
Totally. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right? So, anyway. So, no wonder you want to make it kind of tough.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly, I think it just stemmed from that. But then, like Ash had said, at the same time, I think anybody can hike a mountain. You just do it at your own pace.
For sure.
And you can make it to the summit. So that's what we've tried to, market and show women too, that you have these mountains in your backyard.
We do.
Get up there and, come climb.
Some Germans told me about them. I gotta check them out. No, it's true. Like,
They're just a look at.
It is.
It's look,
so
don't
funny.
touch.
I was watching a show the other day. It was, what was it? Anyways, it's about this. It's based in the hood in LA, but there was a scene where all these kids go to the beach. They're like 20 years old, and they're like, this is the first time we've seen the ocean, and they live in LA. Like, we just forget, right? Like, you live inner city. Like, it's no different than here. Like, we have all this stuff close by, and we just take it for granted.
Yeah. People
So-
always ask me, like, do you swim in the Great Salt Lake all the time? I'm like, no, never.
Now I go brine shrimp fishing, but
It stinks terribly.
I mean, that's probably another cool part of it, right? Is getting women outdoors and getting them up to the mountains, and just, I wonder how many people do that kind of for the first time just to do your race.
We were shocked at how many
Right.
it was their first time when they were training hiking, or first time summiting a mountain. Like, I think for someone that has done it forever in their whole lives, it was just like, take a step back and be
Yeah.
like, okay, we need to present this and make it more available for women to do.
So how did you go from Sunday dinner, we should do this, to what was the first step? Like, what was the first thing you did to actually like start the business?
Well, once I talked Ash off the cliff and we settled on Women's Epic.
But what about
It's something we can sell.
Then it was we started like the website, and then it was location pretty quickly.
But like, did you know like
Yeah.
at that moment exactly like what type of race you wanted to do?
we didn't know it was a lot of conversation.
Yeah, we had like a whole Excel sheet. Like maybe we should like put them on the mountain for 12 hours and see how many laps
Right.
they could do, and
Yeah.
maybe
The
it should be a
Spartan race type
10K.
thing.
Yeah. We
And we're
threw
big
around
on
a
like
lot.
what feels right. So once we honed in on like a few key pointers and it felt right, then we were like, okay, next step. move
So
on
what,
from
like,
there.
do you remember like what those first main things were that felt right? That like,
Women
got you going?
specifically
Okay.
was a big one.
Only.
Yeah, women only. Created for women.
Just because there are so many races and we wanted something different. And so having the woman aspect where we could fill their swag bags with female-based
we
products.
wanted. That was a big one. We were, what would we want? What do I want in the swag bag? Even if I'm not an avid runner, hook me up with some good swag and I'm there.
Street swag bags are a big draw. But you're right. I mean, they really are. I want to be in the swag bags
Okay.
because I want more girls coming here. Because once they come here, they always come here. But I'm still
gotta be in
considered
swag
a dude
bags.
restaurant. So I won't even do pink. We'll do the black, normal, like masculine gift cards.
Okay. Yeah.
Or we'll just have like cups of protein when they finish. It's like pulled pork, brisket.
Oh, I love it.
Recover.
Honestly, yes.
No, I'd love to help. I
But
think
we
it's
could
amazing.
throw down, right? The smell when we walked in here, I'm like,
Right.
put me at
Yes.
a
I'll bring the
table.
smokers up. It'll be like the reward smell. Well, that's cool because I mean,
that'll get them to the finish line.
totally,
Yeah, we should
totally.
all-
Like some brisket.
And I'll go I'll hike a third mile up from the finish line. That's about where I stop. I shouldn't call that a third mile because it should have its own name.
Yeah,
Right.
the actual distance.
Yeah, and then I'll have a smoker set up and get everybody across the line.
That
Smell.
Be awesome.
fun. That
But
really
s-
would.
So I'm looking at the website, and it is like it's a fairly like crowded space, right? I mean, as far as like, there's so many different. I golf at Soldier Hollow, for example, up in Heber all the time, and there's always a different race going on up there. So I mean, what were a few of the things that, besides what you've already mentioned, that did kind of set you apart, or that you wanted to make different from the rest of them? I mean, we've got women, right? You didn't want it to be sparkly and
Yes.
girly, even though you wanted to name it Athena.
I know. Right?
But women's epic race. So what were some of the parts of the race that? I mean, we knew trail, right? Like, are there obstacles? Are there water crossings? Are there other little things that you guys want in the race itself that are kind of required?
No obstacles, but I would say probably two of the biggest things that kind of set us apart besides the woman aspect are a lot of those races. When you sign up, you feel like you have to be like running it, right?
Right.
And so with us, we really do market. You can hike, you can jog, you can run, a lot of people, even with injuries, like I dealt with the IT band issue and I couldn't race forever. And
Right.
something like this would have been so appealing because I would have felt like I could still go race, but still have the flexibility of what suits like my fitness
sure.
levels. So that I think is super appealing, is just getting those first timers there without just signing up for a random 5K. And then
So did you see people coming in from all different like fitness levels? Mm-hmm. Have you like from the first race? Have you experienced that?
Professionals from first time, like I mentioned, first time
Yeah.
hikers. Our oldest lady, she's a rock star, 73 years old. We had women pregnant too that were scaling the mountain and crossing the finish line.
So how do you market that so it's not intimidating? Because a lot of times people would want to do races or want to get out, but it's the most common thing you probably hear is once I'm in shape, then I'll do that, right? So how do you break that barrier and make women feel comfortable to come out to do a race?
We also provide a training guide, which I think once you prevent
Interesting.
women with the tools, then it's, like you said, like it's more available, something that they feel like they could do. So a 12-week training guide is something we put out our first year, and we partnered with Coach Randy, and she put that together for us, and we've got a really good response with that, where when you say we feel like we're giving them something that they are ready to do.
yes, they have 12 weeks to prepare. Their first run is more of a walk, and by the end of it, they're trail running 5 to 6 miles. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's really cool.
good. I
think-
think you're right.
Yeah, the professionals, I feel like, so it's a shorter mileage. We're like at 6 miles, but our elevation gate and that vertical is like, it's steep. Yeah. I'm always like, Ash, what are the numbers?
Yes. So at Brighton, it starts at 8,000 feet elevation. So you're already out of breath in the first
Right.
500
Getting out of the car.
Yeah. We always are shocked whenever we do the course. We're like, are we super out of shape or is it just the elevation? And it's the elevation.
Mile.
We
yeah.
say.
First mile.
But yeah. And then I feel like we try to make it very apparent on our website. It's for all levels. You can hike it, you can jog it, you can run it. A lot of the influencers we work with, they're very inclusive, I feel like, and that helps. They try to promote it as if you've never done a race before, come out and do it. So influencers have been a good marketing.
So when was your first race?
Last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we threw our first one last year. It was quite the funky year, but we were able to score a few big sponsors right out of the chute that I feel like helped pave the way for us too. We had a meeting with, when we decided on Brighton was where we wanted to. We were meeting with Jared Winkler there, and
What made you want to do that? Like, why Brighton?
Why Brighton?
Snowboard hill.
Familiar with it. I was familiar with it skiing there.
Yeah, close to a big population of people.
And it's just stunning.
Yeah.
You have the lakes right there. It's just a beautiful mountain. And it's the time when we're running is they have like that wildflower field. And so as you're finishing the race, you're coming right through a field of wildflowers.
Cool.
And that to me is just so memorable too, that beauty in the mountains. So that was a big reason. But we had a conversation with Jared and he put us in contact. He's like, if we're doing this, he was super supportive.
Who's Jared? Sorry.
He's at Brighton.
Okay,
he runs that mountain
runs
there.
Brighton.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
He's been very helpful from day one. But he put us in contact with Julian Carr. And if you are in the trail running world or ski world, he's like a legend. And
He's
he
an Olympic medalist and
carries all sorts of recognition. He runs the Cirque Series. He owns the Cirque Series, which is a
I don't know what that is.
trail. Look it up.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay.
He has races all along all the ski resorts here, Alta,
Okay.
Brighton, Snowbird, all the big ones. They're even going international this year. But he took the time to have a conversation with us, which was for me like that turning point that we were onto something. He was so helpful with just mentoring us and
so supportive.
And he helped us with our trail, picking our trail at Brighton. Anyways, I felt like that was a moment too that we were like, hey, this is gonna work.
Yes, Julian thinks it's a good idea.
Julian's on board. We can
That's like
make this
massive,
happen.
like confirmation of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll probably help with sponsors too, I suppose. So who were some of the first sponsors you guys had? And how did you sell it?
On running. Have you
Wait, who's this?
on?
Oh my gosh.
On.
So
These are big.
I don't know what it
title.
is, but in the South, everyone is wearing either those or Hokas.
Oh, really?
Like, and they're not even runners. It's just like the cool shoe down there.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild. Like, I saw so many of those.
On
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
They've,
amazing.
Like blown up.
They have.
Internationally.
They need to blow up their sizes as they don't have
not?
it. No.
What size are you?
15.
Dang it.
There's like 17 people with that size, so sorry. Hoka makes them, though. I bought my first pair of Hokas the other day,
I
but
want to look at your feet
I like
now.
them. But no, I'm wearing Skechers right now. Don't make fun of me. I just had knee surgery, and these are the most comfortable freaking shoes.
I gotta look.
I'm old and I don't care.
Get him out of my face.
I don't care.
Get him out
You
of my
can make
face.
fun of me all
Those
you
are
want.
styling
See, they're
Skechers.
not horrible, right?
Yours.
So I was a
Andrew,
little
yours are
embarrassed, but
beautiful.
I got
Thank
them
you.
for I got them for the Masters because you walk so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? This knee. I just had surgery 9 weeks ago and it has not gone well.
You should do a race.
My knee will ever get fixed. I don't race, but I'll hike.
Okay.
I'll come. We'll just go like 10 minutes after everybody else, so they don't see us. So
Andrew, you love shoes, right?
I do.
When you see people, is that the first thing you?
Yes.
see, and
You
she
look
just
at?
assumed I don't now because I'm wearing a pair of Skechers right now. If I open that closet, you'll see that
yeah.
I have a problem with sneakers, but it's
We'll look at it.
I do. I definitely have a shoe thing.
That's the.
they're amazing, but they're not very comfortable. A lot of them, and I'm getting old.
See, I'm lucky. I got normal sized feet.
Suck.
15. Where do you, is it Skechers then, or what's the go-to for a size 15?
I can get size 15. I have a ton of Jordan. Like, that's probably my favorite. Like, he's wearing my favorite. The Jordan 3 is my favorite shoe ever. But, like, when I'm walking a ton, yeah.
Yeah.
The internet.
Yeah, okay.
There are no stores that have size 15. It's like they might bring out one box and be like, so we found these.
We've had this for 10
But
years.
no, the internet's made it much easier. But that's still kind of a bummer because
See it in
I send
person.
back more than I, keep just because you have to try them on and all that. But anyway, so yeah,
So how'd you get that? Because that's a big sponsor.
that's huge.
Like, that's a really big
Especially
deal.
out of the chute. Like
Yeah.
our first year, that was pivotal for me. I had reached out to Shay, who ran like partnerships there, and I don't know what
Once again, just like a cold email.
LinkedIn, and he responded.
LinkedIn's legit. I've really grown to love LinkedIn.
It is.
And Shay was from day one again saw like our vision, and he was so like transparent too in the sense of like, hey, this is your first year, you haven't proved anything, but I love the vision, love where you're going with this is what we'll do, this is how we want to be a part of it, and if all goes well, let's chat, we'll chat after.
Yeah.
And we ended up selling out months in advance, and
That is
it's
so
all
cool.
but I think with him it was just more showing like the vision that
Were you a fan of the shoes before you reached out to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Which helps,
For sure.
right? Knowing what I'm talking about in that sense. But I think what we were able to show Shay and our other sponsors is what it comes down to is women are, I don't know if in need is the right word, but we are always looking for that deep, meaningful connection. And even though it was like a funky year last year and in the years leading up to it, women still wanted to get out on the mountain, and we've created this event that they can be out on the mountain and still get that deep, meaningful connection. And we've been able to show our sponsors that that's what we're all about too.
How do you create a connection with, everyone's running their own version of a race, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's
no.
to me, and then jump in, but I think it's when it's all women, we are still competitive, and we'll see this on the mountain, but even like the last 150 yards of Brighton is pretty intense, but even if women are chugging up and coming, they're cheering each other on. Like, I think we are still cheering each other on when it could be this like super competitive, head down. And I think it could be that in other races, even when sweet men are there, but when it's just us ladies out on the mountain.
I might trip someone as I go by them.
I just see girls being way meaner to each other. Just like, speed up. Sorry, you can put a quack on that if you want, but it's just the word you think of, Girls can be kind of mean to each other that way. We'd probably push each other off the mountain, but girls just call
trip
names.
someone. I'm like,
totally.
oh, whoops.
Sorry. But no, and I mean, that's true because there is competitive. Because, even though it's not a race per se,
It is.
it is. I mean,
There's a
and if you
podium,
want
they're
that,
winners. Yeah.
if you want that, that's there. I'm sure people want to come up and be. Do you guys do anything for first place or anything like that?
do.
You do.
We do.
Yeah, our sponsors, we go all out on prizes. They get more than $1,200 worth of
No way.
shoes
really?
and watches and
GoPro, Pit Viper. Is it cool or cool?
Cool.
Cool.
Look at my cool.
Got some big sponsors. It's amazing. Blender
As
bottle.
far as, do you do different age demographics or brackets for your winners, or is it just overall stuff?
yeah, we podium age categories,
Okay.
and then we podium our first, second, and third.
Okay.
So yeah, there is that competitive aspect. This year is going to be fun. We're podiuming or giving awards for teams, so you can sign up on a team, which has been really successful. People like to sign up and feel like they're going to have a group when they're there to run with. So that will be fun because Blender Bottle's sponsoring prizes for them.
Okay.
But yeah,
So,
I
how
want
does
to
that work?
sponsor the last place finisher.
Does the whole
I want to
team
do a
have to
prize for the
cross?
last
That
place
would be
person.
awesome.
Does
I
the whole
seriously
team have
do.
to cross to win? Okay. So,
Oh, so there's teams too.
Yeah, you could
Oh wow.
sign up as a team.
where were you? She just talked about
I was thinking about the prize I want to do for the last place person.
You're the-
At first I was thinking about I want to sponsor, I want to give a prize to the heaviest runner. But then I was like, these are women. They'll get offended by that.
We can't have a weigh-in.
But I was like, so maybe it'll be like the last person that's picked in the draft gets a truck, right? Like, I just want because obviously that person had to probably fight the hardest to get through it. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool to do a prize for that person.
That would be cool.
It can't be too cool though, because I don't want people to like go slow on purpose.
We gave shoes. On gave a pair of shoes last year, and I had that same thought, like, word's gonna get out, and people are gonna
Right.
we're gonna go slow next year.
Take their time.
Maybe what we do is we pick like a panel of women to kind of keep an eye on like who had to fight the hardest to finish it, right? Like,
great.
doesn't necessarily have to be the last place person, but who had maybe like 73 years old or somebody that is a little bit heavier or a little out of shape and still like powered through, like something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Let's talk about that. That'd be so fun.
Okay, because I think it's like you see all these prizes given out to all these like super fit, like whatever. I want to give something cool to people that like had to power through.
Right.
Okay, anyway,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
sorry, tangent. I'm back. I was just trying to think how to help.
See the wheels turning and
helping the women's epic race. Okay.
It was just so funny because she was literally talking about this year we're doing teams, and then you go, hold on, you're doing teams?
I think it was worse. I was like, so do you? So you guys do teams?
It was like right after.
Shut up! I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Everyone knows that.
Sorry.
All right. I'm here. Reset.
good. So good.
So you did your first race. So how many people signed up for it?
350.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot, which we weren't quite sure. I mean,
What
we
was
had
your
done all
goal?
our research. 350.
Okay.
Yeah. You plan and you research and you strategize, and at the end of the day, there is some just hoping.
Is there a reason that number?
We weren't, permits for one, but then also the fact, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We had really no idea exactly what to expect in that realm. Were people going to be gun shy or what to expect? So we just ended up on that number, what the
Okay.
resort could accommodate.
Very cool.
Yeah, I remember we even started, we were like maybe 200 with COVID, but then we got such a great response. We just picked.
We did. We sold out so quickly, and then we had hundreds of women on our waiting list, just like begging to get in. And then that's why this year we're going to up our numbers and then take it to Bryan Head too.
Okay.
And give more women the opportunity to participate.
Bryan Head's beautiful.
Right.
I just drove
is.
through there like a year ago for the first time. Wow. Place is awesome.
It is. The Red
It's like a
Rock's
hidden
still in the
gem.
forest, yeah.
In Utah, it's still not over.
Right.
What's getting
That
there,
might
but-
be our one ski resort.
I was going to
that's
say,
not-
you're
Yeah.
probably right.
Right?
Bryan Head is probably still holding strong just because it's kind of down by itself. But,
Well, because you don't really think about it.
there's not a
Most of the ski
major
resorts are up
airport
north.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little lower. The
I don't
snow
think
probably
about-
is a little
yeah,
heavier, but
exactly.
not having like Salt Lake Airport within. I mean, that stupid airport's. There's a resort up here that's more than maybe 40 minutes away from there,
Yeah.
so that does open it up. But yeah, good point. And the road, it's still just a single
Yep.
lane road each way to get up there, and so yeah.
So
That's cool.
what are you hoping for this year, or have you already sold out for this year's race?
We haven't sold out yet. We're on track to do so.
You will after this. We're a pretty big deal.
You guys are.
But once we did sell, I think we wanted to put focus on making sure it didn't feel like an overcrowded race. So we're still going to be capping numbers. That's just important to us that you still get, the feeling of what our year one felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was so
intimate.
memorable.
So what did you learn from year one that you like? Okay, I didn't like that. I'm going to change it for year two.
I wrote that list right after the race ended. Next
Yeah, we
day,
have it.
I had my little notebook scribbling down all the notes, and then I don't even. What do you remember anything?
Oh, this year, a couple things. This year's we're upping our participant cap. We will do a waived start just so it's not feeling crowded on the trail.
Okay.
So that will be fun.
I might snag a beer or something to calm my nerves. That
This year
first-
we're sleeping more than 1 hour.
I did not
tonight.
sleep at all. Yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy it more. That
Okay.
for me is gonna be a massive. Just take the day in.
Yeah.
That's important. I think that's cool that
I actually
you're being
appreciate it.
intentional about that because it is. It's a lot of work, I'm sure, but it is still a really cool accomplishment. So it's like, yeah,
Already
get
at
it
the
so you
finish
can
line.
enjoy a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to get to the point where one of us can be actually participating in the race.
For sure.
But we both just still feel the need to be at the finish line and making sure everything's going smooth. So hopefully.
That's awesome. Yeah, it might be kind of hard to race if you're just thinking about you'll trip over some rocks or something because you'll be thinking about
All the details.
this better be going good. I hope everything's okay. I got to call on my satellite phone,
Yeah.
make sure everyone's checking in.
Are you doing the same distance?
So 6 miles.
Yes.
It's
And do you guys do like
roughly-
teams for racing?
I was about to.
I legit just like, okay.
We must be really uninteresting.
I'm just kidding. I'm making fun of myself. So so how did Brian Head come about? Just out of curiosity, because we're doing Brighton. Was it just kind of a referral? I mean, it's an awesome spot. Plus, you get the Southern Utah. You know, it's just. I mean, it's close enough to here that I'm sure people from here. I mean, I bet you've got people doing both races, right?
Do. Yep.
Yeah.
We have both, and I think it does speak to that lower demographic Vegas.
Right.
We've had a lot of interest. We have women coming from all over the nation, and
Yeah, we have our first international.
Really?
Really?
Up. Yeah.
That's cool.
I gotta check the country because I can't
it's like the
remember.
Dominican, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
something.
Anyways,
Someone Ashley taught English to, probably.
They remember.
Yeah,
it was somewhere.
that's amazing.
The coast
So, what's the goal as far as? I mean, is sky the limit as far as how many races you can put on? Do you want to keep adding? Do you want to? I mean, or is this just kind of? We'll see how it goes, and we'll
There is a
grow
strategy.
as we can. There is a strategy.
There is a
Hey, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of entrepreneurs that. I mean, I'm one of them. You just kind of never know. You can strategize, you can set goals, but you still have to kind of play it by ear because you just don't really know.
Well, you found that out. I mean, last year, years before.
Oh, yeah.
We all had these thoughts of how the year would go, and then
Totally.
kaboom, it was different.
Yeah, you got to be quick on your feet. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think growth, though, is important to us. Just getting women out on the trails is important to us as well.
Yeah. We've talked about growing into other states, especially the western states. With so many awesome ski resorts that.
It's like, is
we
the
feel
first
it'd be
step to go out of state, or is the first step to do like multiple races in a year here?
That's
the question of the day.
We
go
talk
so back
we
and
do.
forth.
We really do go back and forth on it. I think I'm happy with 2 here in Utah. I think it'd be exciting to go out of state next year.
Okay. So are you doing Brighton and Brian Head this year? Okay.
So, what do the families think about this thing?
They are so supportive.
They love it.
They're our best volunteers.
Kids? Do we have kids? I know you've got kids. Ashley, do you have kids?
I don't.
You don't have kids? Okay, so husbands are into it.
Oh yeah.
Love it. Do they work at the race for you
They
for
do.
free? They better work for free.
My husband does the apparel and he
Awesome.
hustles for us. But I think he thinks he's going to get like some hunting trips in return.
Foot the bill.
He is a dude. Thinking like a real dude.
My husband got word of that Ash might be paying for this or that. And so Mike has been, okay, so what do I get out of this deal?
I shouldn't have started.
But they're
it.
sweethearts. They set up everything, the arch, the backdrops, everything for us. So
They
it's
take a lot of stress off.
They
We couldn't
do.
do it without them.
right.
Do they enjoy running?
No,
Neither of them do.
they mountain bike
High's
and they
really
do.
fast, but
He is, yeah. I know he once college and high school ended. He was like,
100-meter dash.
Yeah.
He hates running.
he's over it now.
He would always. Did track with him in high school, and I would try so hard. Like my warm ups, I would do so fully, and he would cut the corners, and I got like 20th state at pole vault and state, and he got first. And, like,
But you hate that.
yeah.
At high school, you can still pull that crap
so
off.
hard.
You get to college, and all of a sudden, you have to like. There's a bunch of naturally gifted people there, right?
Yeah.
Then like the next level, you got to work hard. So you brought up mountain biking. That was my other question. It seems like you guys kind of love everything mountains, right? Mm-hmm. Ever any thought into doing the same thing but with mountain biking, for example?
I haven't had that thought, but that's a good idea.
You're welcome. We have a sponsor for you. We can get Brian in on this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we had the owner of Timpanogos Cyclery and Bike Peddler in
Yeah.
here, and
Oh, I saw that.
that would be like a match made in heaven.
I hate it because like he made me want to buy a bike
I
so bad.
Still am talking about buying a bike with Ashlee. And
But
it's
then like when
you
he
sell
talks
your
about
dirt
the bikes
bike
they
and you
have,
can
it's
get it.
like, well, I want that one.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
I was shocked.
They're expensive. There's like $20,000 mountain bikes.
I used to think $1,000 is way too much to pay for a bike. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's a lot. But I do feel like with what you guys are doing, that would be kind of a natural
It could, yeah.
fit. Like women's epic race, just
well, that's
on a
what's fun.
mountain
Yeah,
bike.
Woman's Epic, the name, the brand can encompass
Everything.
all sorts of stuff. I mean, you could even do like winter sports stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that would be so fun.
Cross country skiing.
Brainstorming.
You know, men, we can play a role in things. Like, we do have brains, and we should be included once in a while. I'm kidding.
We love you.
By joking. So what about like merchandising and things like that? I mean, because building a brand is a huge part of it. You know, I've helped my buddy Brandon, who does, he's one of those people that loves to suffer for fun. Like his wife was on the show, Bobby Heaney, the COVID nurse that we were just talking about earlier. But this guy is, I mean, he's 43 and he's just shredded still. He's just loves the mountains, loves running. But I was his like, I would just think of racing like your pit, you know, you pit, right? You go into the pit, you put your new tires on. Like,
Yeah.
Like a
no,
Supergirl.
I was like his, like, because the Spartan race is 24 hours and you see how many laps you can get. And I stayed up all night with him, and I would take his wetsuit, go into my truck, run my heater on high and just hold his wetsuit. So every
that's
hour
amazing.
he could throw on a dry wetsuit to do the next lap. But you look at the Spartan race, and it's like the branding and the lifestyle side of it they've done a really good job with that. Like,
Yeah.
is that something that you guys are really like focused on as well, as building kind of the brand itself, besides just running the race, like merchandising and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Sorry. No. I think that's like pivotal in any
Right.
business, right? You got to build that brand so that when people mention the name, it sparks something.
Right.
Like Spartan, everybody knows when you say Spartan or what are the other ones?
Iron Man and
Yeah.
all that.
Their swag is, people love to go to the race, do it, and get the swag.
Put all those
that's
stickers
what I
on the
was
back of
thinking,
their
like,
car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 13.1 people. Just kidding. See, that's okay. That's what they ran. They ran a marathon. And so
You need to do Patagonia.
Patagonia, I'm going to sponsor the first marathon when I start
Whole
Patagonia.
new idea.
So, and it will have a hot dog eating contest before the race. No, but that's the thing. Like, you finish these races, and I'm sure you guys have like some branded stuff in the swag bags. But it's like, if I finish that race, I'll buy a lot more than what comes in the swag bag, right?
Home.
Oh, you got to have a gnome. You should have you should totally have a gnome.
No, I think
Catches on.
to speak to the merchandise, something that does set us apart is we don't do medals at the finish line. We do necklaces. So it's something that they can wear day to day. You know, no one's going to
cool.
rock their medal at the mall or wherever out to
What's
dinner.
on the necklace?
It has mountains and then like Brighton and 2021.
Oh, cool.
So
Does it
the
say
date
women
is-
only or anything like
It
that?
says
anywhere?
women's
With like some
epic.
black diamonds. That would be kind of cool, huh? Ski runs. Anyways, I'll shut up.
That would be cool.
No, but I like that because it is an accomplishment. Like what they and to have something that's wearable, because nobody's going to wear their medal around,
Yeah.
right? They're going to hang it on a wall. But to have something that reminds them daily that they did something hard, and it ultimately is that. I mean, I know this is a business, right? And you want to be successful, but it sounds like there's a lot more deeper meaning with this than just that. Which usually a successful business, that's kind of how it goes. But is that what you would say is getting people moving, getting people outside, just empowering women that they can go out and start this, do this? Like what is the ultimate meaning for you guys? And maybe you both have a different reason.
Yeah, I feel like for me, especially coming from the personal training world and just getting that one-on-one touch with people and
Right.
watching them accomplish their goals, it's so fulfilling knowing this year we'll have around 1,000 women that get that moment. But obviously the business, everything has to be in line with the business side of things for that to happen.
Right.
And that's a really fun part for us is the marketing and the business. But if we can't create that experience, then no one wants to come. And if it's not authentic, then
Right.
no one wants to come. So I feel like it is a fine line, but
Yeah. I think when it comes to the marketing too, is creating an event that's going to be a memory too. And so Women's Epic has all these little details that we work very hard on creating for women while they're participating in our events, just to create that memory on the mountain.
Right.
That it's whether
It's a big name to live up to. I mean, if you think about it, like epic. I mean, it has to be epic, like from front to back, right?
it's not wild.
It's not just the trail. It's not wild. Yeah, we're keeping our clothes on when we're running. But no, it's
Well, I mean,
for the most part. You're right. I would be down to my jogging shorts, for sure. And rolling in a stream, most likely. But yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
you can be an obstacle.
seriously.
Like trying to grab people.
I'll be a merman. I'll be a merman in a mountain stream,
okay.
and I'll have like treats,
Sound
like
effects
sweets.
maybe too.
Yeah, and I'll
That would
try
be
to
so
tempt them
fun.
away from the trail.
Okay.
And that way, like, if they say no, that's a win. Like, I'll have donuts,
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke. Like, just like, hey, girls,
Even
a
if
break.
they don't finish.
right? What's Satan? How do you say Satan backwards? That'll be my name, like Natos or something, Natos or something like that. Natos the merman. And I'll just try to tempt girls off the trail with Diet Coke and sweets.
That would be so
And that's an obstacle.
I would run.
No, we'll have
Security.
We'll find So Delicious will sponsor us.
Yes.
And we'll
Oh,
have
man.
all of the drink stations there.
Piles of meat, sodas, popcorn.
Off in the forest. off
Oh
in
my
the sun.
gosh. Just see how it'll be a willpower obstacle.
yeah.
Well, no,
element.
we'll do a nitty gritty team, and we're just going to be in there to distract everyone.
I'm down. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. No, it'll be more empowerment. Like they'll finish, be like, I skipped the Diet Coke bar. It was hidden up on the hill. All right. So what about for you? Joe? You don't mind me calling you that? Like what's the part, or maybe the better way to ask this is what's the part that you really love that maybe you didn't expect to love so much, or that has been the most rewarding for you since having actually put a race on?
I would say my mindset is definitely to the business side of things. I feel like at last year's race, when we had ladies sign up, they can fill out this section, and as they cross the finish line, our MC will read that. And we had
That's cool.
again, like another detail,
Yeah.
right? That we wanted to make it memorable. But we had women that had a lady I can think of had just finished her cancer treatments just like a month before. And we had a lady that was a sexual abuse survivor. And I was not expecting that emotion at the finish line. I was expecting, that like competitive side of things as you're crossing, but to feel more emotion than I did,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. It was
Oh,
pretty
I hear it in your
emotional.
voice right now. That's amazing. Like, no, I mean, it's incredible. Like, I just thought of Kim. Like, she would love this. Did you follow Kim Can Kick It? Do you remember Kim White?
Oh yeah.
She was a good friend of ours, and oh my gosh, she would be your biggest fan of a race like this, because she would do this type of stuff. Like, she'd do chemo and just go ride a bike race or run, or it was crazy. So, I mean, and that's the thing with empowerment. I mean, that's the whole goal, right? And so, and I imagine, like, Ashlee, I was thinking just a minute ago, have you guys heard any like follow up where people maybe started becoming more active because of the race? Have you had any like messages like, it was the first time I hiked a trail and I've been hiking a trail every week since, or have you seen anything like that? I mean, I know it's only been a year, but
We've honestly had so many Instagram messages saying, I never thought I would do something like this, and I did it, and now I feel more comfortable hiking. And lots of them will tag us on their stories saying, we're training again for Women's Epic. And
I can think of
Amazing.
Olivia specifically, who had a brain clot and didn't
Yeah.
think she'd be able to do any sort of athletic, ventures, and she did Women's Epic and said it was just monumental and life changing for her.
Yeah, lots of people saying life-changing, which I didn't necessarily expect that. I thought it'd be more like, that was fun, but
well, yeah, I mean,
life-changing
where
is
you're
cool.
doing those races, like both of you are used to being up in the mountains. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, actually at the Masters, who loves hiking, and she hasn't Sorry, Andrew. Sorry. Name dropping. No biggie. But I was asking, like, because she likes to hike a lot. Like, have you been hiking? It's been warm. She's like, it's been so many months that her biggest, like, hurdle was starting again. Like, she's a little more, she feels like she's a little more out of shape. And I think a lot of it is just when you're not experienced about anything that you're doing, right? Just getting there and doing it the first time makes it so it's like, okay, now I can do it. Like,
Absolutely.
but that first time, like, getting over that hurdle can be pretty hard, especially when it's really out of your comfort zone. It's like you can go hike around the neighborhood or walk down the street, but actually going up on a mountain trail can be, we kind of create things.
Intimidating.
We make things bigger in our heads than they really are. And so I would imagine that you would see some pretty repeat, because you can't beat that. Like, you get up in those mountains and there is something totally magical about being up there. And the fact that we can do that, it's not just skiing, it's not just snowmobiling, it's not just winter. Like, the best time of the year is to go up there in the summer. You know what I mean? I mean, some people would argue that like skiing, but I like warm now. And it's cooler up there. I mean, that's the thing. You're doing it in July, but it's still probably 80 degrees. It's probably perfect.
Yeah, and everything's still green. As
Right.
in the valley, it's usually pretty yellow.
Yeah,
Dry.
it's true. Ugh. Yeah, especially this year, probably. But no, I think that's an amazing thing that you're doing, because it's fun, it is empowering, but you're getting people outside and you're getting people up in the hills, because we have trails. They never end in Utah.
do.
That's the other thing that I think we forget. Like, we can get on our phones now, and there are trail apps like crazy, and you can just go and you won't get lost. You download them to your phone. And so I think it's really cool what you're doing. I
Thank
love that
you.
it's in the mountains.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So-
I always say when I'm in the mountains, it's like my therapy. Whether I'm skiing or hiking, it's just so clarity up there.
The air is amazing. The smells are amazing. Like, you're away from, you can get up in the mountains 10 minutes from here, but feel like you're totally out of the city.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's like that at the Masters, actually, Andrew. When you're on the course, it just feels like nothing else is around you. We'll talk about that later. It's fine. Okay, so what's next? So what is different this year than last year? What's the biggest improvement or change that you guys are doing with these races that you guys didn't do last year?
I think definitely the addition of the Brian Head event.
Right.
Yeah, is that what you would say?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bigger party at the base area.
Yeah, we'll be less stressed.
We'll be
Yeah,
less.
you'll probably be a little more comfortable. You know what
Stressed.
you're doing. You know what to expect. Like,
Are you guys going to try to run it yet?
Not I.
Not during. We do last year. Me and my husband went and marked or checked the course before. I was just so stressed that someone like they were going to end up not at
yeah.
the finish line.
That's something I even thought about. Yeah, like, do you do the course before?
Yeah,
like,
we-
you'll go and run it, and
We probably did it like 12, 15 times leading up to last year, just to make sure that that's exactly what we wanted.
Okay.
That it was going to be, the right.
like, do you make changes like after you go through it, and you're like, we can go this way instead of that way?
Yeah, we checked, is there going to be, could there be snakes here at this time? So let's scoot things over
Oh,
this
good.
way. And then we go through the day before and mark the trail with the flags. And then Ash had this thought, like, what if something happened to one of the flags in the middle of the night? So she got up bright and early, 3 a.m. the
Ashley,
next
are you
morning.
a stressor?
On random things, like
On
not
random-
about being late, obviously,
But if a
about a cougar grabbing a
taking
flag.
a flag,
Not a person.
You probably do have a bunch
flag.
of cougars. Oh, I thought you were talking about a person.
Or
I have some cougars up there signing up for the race. Well, that's something I like. You bring up snakes. Like, I didn't think about that. Like, what about like paramedics and stuff? Do you have them placed throughout the?
we do.
We got everybody ready to
Aid
go.
stations, mhm.
Yeah, we have the Brighton ski,
Ski patrol, yeah.
They are our team on the mountain, which is really
Oh,
nice
that's
because they
cool.
know the mountains so well.
Do they keep ski patrol guy? I guess they would year round. They'd probably keep some of them on, huh?
So do you have like water stations like all throughout the trail as well?
Yes. So every couple miles, Gnarly, one of our partners this year, Gnarly Nutrition, they will have the aid stations, supplying the aid stations, and then Pit Viper's going to have their party bus up on the aid station, running one of the aid stations
Wow.
too. So it's going to be a good time.
What a riot, Pit Viper. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I kind of want to go run a race.
Yeah, we'll just sneak up in camo and Yeah.
Just wear a wig.
Just where I can do that. We'll call Scott Paul. We'll borrow some of his
Oh
weight.
yeah,
You've got a couple extra.
he's a hoot.
He is a hoot. Well, we're excited for you guys. That is such a cool story. And I
Thank
mean,
you.
just yet another story of people having an idea and just doing it, right? Not being scared of how many people are doing it also. I mean, there's always something that you bring your own spin, your own experience to it. And right off the bat, you guys are just killing it.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing.
It's been so much
So how
fun.
can they sign up? Like if people are listening, like, okay, I want to go do this.
And we're going to sell this out.
That's right. You can go to www.womensepicrace.com and you can click on either our Brighton Head event, or you can sign up for our Epic Club, which is an exclusive cool club where you get to do both races and you get a little discount and then a really cool mug saying you're a member of
Badass
that.
mug.
Yeah. Yeah. Of the Epic Club.
It's amazing.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so sign up, everybody. You don't have to be in great shape. If we sell it out in the next week, they'll let me and Andrew run the race.
Oh, we should create a nitty-gritty discount code.
Ooh.
Okay.
We have the power to do that.
Yeah, you do. Little nitty gritty code.
Yeah. So it's
Very
going to
cool.
be nitty-gritty 10
Nitty
for
gritty 10.
10% off.
Hold on. I want to do something.
Okay.
Like if 10 people do it, then we have to go and do something.
Like run an
10
aid station.
people use your code.
I don't know. Yeah. Like if,
Okay.
like if 10 people sign up and use the code,
I'm down.
like what are we going to do? We'll either go to the race.
So I can't do the merman thing that I was. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe you can be the merman.
I want to work at the
Finish
Pit
line.
Viper bus. That sounds fun.
It is.
You could
What are the dates?
come mark the trails or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or what,
No.
something. No, no,
Hell
okay.
to the no.
You have to be the person who checks in the morning that a cougar didn't get the flag.
Okay.
So I don't have to.
Cameron will be the cougar checker.
I'll check Cougar.
June 25th at Brian Head and July
25th.
30th at Brighton.
What was the Brighton date?
The July 30th.
Okay.
Done
Well,
with that. I like that. We can come help.
we'll come up
We'll
with
just come
something.
volunteer, and you guys just put us to work for the race.
That'd be so fun.
As long as I don't have to hike. Who knows? Maybe by then I'll be down for hiking.
No, you got to hike.
My knee's fixed.
You're going to help at the midway point.
Okay.
So you got to. So
Are you
you're
going
going
to be there with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll
We'll
set
do
an
it.
aid station aside.
We'll do a Bam Bam's aid station.
Okay.
That would be so fun.
That would actually be really funny. We'll get your whatever. Wait, is gnarly like a protein drink? Mm-hmm. Okay.
They'll have
We
the
can serve
energy
it.
and-
We'll serve gnarly drinks, so it's protein. Bam Bams. Maybe I'll make my own protein shake or something. No, we'll come help.
Branded Bam Bam. Okay.
If we get, and I'll do gift cards for the swag bag. That I'll do already. So
Thank
count me
you.
in. And so,
We need 10 people to sign up. Is that the number?
yeah, 10 people.
Okay.
So nitty gritty 10, you save 10% off your race, right?
Yeah.
And if 10 of you sign up, we will be up there.
You guys please
Helping
sign
out.
up.
Bam Bam.
So they
I
can
love
come.
it.
And maybe we'll make like race jerseys or something for our, maybe we'll do something for our 10 racers.
We should do like a
yes.
racing uniform.
Nitty
I'm
gritty
down.
team.
Like biking shorts or something.
Uh-huh.
We all wear them
All
together.
spandex.
I like it. We should do like a nitty gritty team. That'd be kind
Yeah.
of cool. Okay, we'll think of something.
'Kay.
We're in.
We'll add
get
it.
involved.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
All right, so sign up. Make us get up there and help. And I want to go to Brian Head too. So if 20 of you sign up, we'll go to that one. I love that. That place is so pretty.
And we're there on there. Do you bike? Then you were talking about getting a bike.
We're still both talking about maybe that will be our kickoff.
'Kay.
We'll get a bike for the Brian Head race.
When
We're
you could be-
part of their opening weekend. They invited us to be part of the mountain
Maybe
biking.
we can talk Brian into
So-
sponsoring us.
Brian,
Come on
if
down.
you're listening, he would. That's a good idea. We'll run like a bike peddler tent or something down there for him, and we'll be on our new bikes.
Yeah.
Okay, and we want to be involved when you do the mountain bike one. I think that'd be sick. You guys should seriously try one.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
We'll chat.
Good
We'll
idea.
throw it in the blender.
Yeah.
All right.
See what comes out.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank
guys.
you
Yeah.
so
We're-
much.
We're cheering you on, and hopefully we'll see you up on the mountain.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll plan on
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.